everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Karina and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very exciting video, one I wasn't expecting to do yet because that is this guy. This is the Boxycharm by Ipsy unboxing and I am very excited to be filming this today and getting this up for you guys. I know it is technically on the later side, but for me this is early because I wasn't supposed to get this box until May 1st. So way to go, all of the postage service people getting it to me before the anticipated delivery date. Very much appreciated. So because this is the very first Boxycharm by Ipsy box that we're doing on this channel, I am going to talk through my experience with this month. So it is going to be a little bit of a longer video than normal, but we'll talk through all of this. We'll talk through then the power picks, what they have customized for me based on everything that they claim to. We'll talk through what my picks are, and because I was a premium Boxycharm member, I am getting the Boxycharm by Ipsy Plus Beauty Boost box. Long name. Basically meaning I get that extra product. So that's what we're going to be going into, but we're going to start off with my thoughts on this month. So let me know how you guys did with your boxes down below, what you think of this first box variation. Without further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, first thing we want to do is talk about the actual box itself. Other people have already commented on this, so I'm not going to spend too long on it. Obviously, this box says Ipsy. The box is supposed to be Boxycharm by Ipsy, so, you know, not the funnest. Inside, we get, so it came with this kind of paper fluffy stuff compared to like the styrofoam. And discover yourself fine. But guys, look at the inside of this. Like, look at these lines here. This was one of the first things I noticed before I even started looking at products. Like, it looks like it's falling apart. I know it isn't, because, you know, it's all attached and everything. But, like, just for comparison, I have an old Boxycharm box here. And just look at that difference, right? The old Boxycharm box, it's nice, clean, sharp, right? All of those edges are aligned versus this new box here, which is just, I don't like that. This is very small. This is technically nitpicky, but it is something that I noticed, and I don't like this very much. So this box is also huge. So when I put all my products in here, like, it did not need to be this big of a box. The other thing I want to comment on that came in the box is this guy here. This, you know, front tells us stuff that we already know. This is the inside, again, mainly telling us stuff we already know. And then some blurbs about their makeup artist and the icon box. Now, what doesn't come in this box is one of those cards. So the cards that Boxycharm always included, which told you about how to use the item, told you about the price value of the item. And I liked having those physical cards because I keep them. I've kept every single card I've ever gotten, and I've gotten quite a lot of Boxycharms. This is useless to me because it either tells me stuff I already know or stuff that I can find in the app if I care. The Power Picks page here, I assume that's for next month. Spoiler, I know this Glow Recipe product, which I'll probably be trying to pick if I can. That is, I mean, it's Power Picks, so maybe I can't pick it, but, you know, that's for next month. So I assume that's a sneak peek for next month, potentially. I don't know at this point. We'll confirm that hypothesis later. But this, like, and printing all that color is expensive. Just give me one of those basic cards. I know all the information is in the app, and I can look it up there, but I don't have that physical card I can refer back to, and that's what I like, because sometimes I go through those old cards and, like, pull them out and see what the theme for the month was, and when I finished up that Bite Beauty lip crayon in my lip service project pan and I couldn't find a price online, I went back to my card and was able to get the price for it for my empties value. So that was the second thing. I know these are small things that I'm ranting about, but that box doesn't look the best, especially compared to what they had before, and the booklet is not as helpful to me as the card used to be. Okay, moving on to my experience. So I did get into the app pretty early on. So I did get in there earlier than I got an email saying I could get into the app. So I was able to go in, do my quiz, customization, all of that stuff. So that's all done. And then on terms of actual choice day. So like as soon as I was up on the 2nd, I was in the app. Right? I was like, let me see what I've got. And I liked how there were more things to pick from. I did appreciate that. As we'll talk about when we get into the choice items, the choices weren't necessarily great, but I appreciate that it was more variety. I was able to make all of my choices very easily, fairly quickly, fantastic. Then once I built my box, then I was able to do any add-on shopping because of course they want to send that with your box, which great. But I'm trying not to shop the add-ons very much. I mean, obviously great deals, and if you need stuff, that's the way to do it. But I'm, trying to restrict the buying a little bit, which is, one of the good things about this box now. I'm only getting 6 full-size items per month versus what I had for 5 for the base and the 6 for premium. So that's going to help. But I felt a little bit like I had to do the shopping, which obviously I know why they're doing it, because like you don't want to miss out. Are you sure you want to complete your box without shopping? And it's like, yes. And of course, I did have an opportunity later if I wanted to add stuff to it later, but like, no. Like, just, so that, I understand why they do it, just didn't really like the feel of that. Shipping was supposed to happen. The latest day for that was April 17th, and my box didn't ship until April 18th. So technically after that shipping window, not great. I mean, it was only a 1-day difference. But again, it usually takes 2.5 weeks from the box for starting the shipping to get to me. So fortunately, it was able to come in much quicker. So today, of course, is the 27th of April. I got my hands on this box yesterday, and I'm filming the video today and hopefully uploading it today for you guys. So that process, pretty good. Although, even before my box had even shipped, we were already getting the spoilers for May, which, great. I do like to see those spoilers and get that excitement. But I was also getting concerned, like, I might make my choices for May before I even get my April box. And that, just based on shipping realities, especially if they end up shipping it on the later end of their scale or right after their frame right there, or their time frame, like, ugh. So that, not so much. 'Cause again, I do want to look forward to next month's box. I just want to get my April box first, enjoy it, and then be able to be like, okay, let's get the next one. So that is everything in terms of the experience of the box. And I found, like, I had a really bad headache yesterday too when I opened the box, so that may have played into this experience as well. But knowing everything that I've got, and I've been trying to not remind myself of what I picked out, but I knew every single item, so you didn't have that same excitement. Now, overall, I do think that it is better to be able to pick every single item in the box, because that gives more value for each individual, because you are picking what either you need, you want to experiment with. So you're not going to necessarily get those dud items or items that may not work for you, which is a risk in subscription boxes when you have that randomization element. It was just a little bit sad for me to not be able to have that same excitement for this box. But hopefully next month will be better, because I found these items, although great, it's not like, oh, like I cannot wait for that product to come in. I want to put it on my face immediately. I didn't have that with any of these items. Whether it was the power picks or whether it was the items I chose from, and from the items I chose from quite a selection. So that's my thoughts on how I opened the box. So now that we talked through all of that, let's actually get into the unboxing component. So we're going to work through first the power picks. So the power picks, of course, are going to be 2 items that Boxycharm by Ipsy has chosen for you based off of what they claim is your quiz, your order history, your preferences. There may be some other factors they claim. That's over 500 pieces of data. So let's see how they did. The first item that they selected for me is this guy right here. So this is very bright, apologies. This is the Saturday Skin. This is their Carrot and Niacinamide Moisturizing Cream. Product looks like this. Very kind of cute. Moisturizers, great. Like eventually I'll get use out of them. I'm not going to open it now though because I don't open skincare until I'm ready to use it to try to preserve it a little bit longer. I do like niacinamide. Great ingredient. I've enjoyed those products before. The carrot is going to be interesting. I do like carrots. Just never tried it related to skincare. So do I think they did well? I think they did pretty well with this particular choice. Yeah, so that was first option. Pretty good, pretty good. This is the second item that they chose for me. This is the Dr. Brandt Mineral Mask. It is supposed to help unclog pores, reduce shine, and exfoliates. So based on that description, that's not really my skin type, right? My skin type is kind of more on the normal side. My nose, I find, does tend to get a little bit more clogged up, congested, needs more of that, you know, pore unclogging, exfoliation. So I still will get use out of a product like this, and this definitely will fit my husband's skin as well. And it sounds really interesting, right? So it's like, it's a 5 to 10 minute mask. You're going to massage it until the beads break. It's supposed to be nice and cooling. So I'm excited about it. But is it the best item? Probably not. All right, so those were my two power picks. So that's what they picked for me. Now let's get into what I picked for myself. And I'll throw up the images so you guys can see what I had to choose from for all of these items and let you guys know how I reached my choices. So for the first choice, you can see them all up on the screen, plus what I ended up choosing. But we're going to work through all of the other choices first, and I'll tell you why I didn't pick them. First up, we had a Formula Z Cosmetics Unisex Setting Spray. Not a brand I've heard of. I've got lots of setting sprays in backstock, so decent choice, but I moved on. I did consider the Pure Elise Beauty, the Yuzu and Orange Exfoliating Face Polish, because that sounds like it's going to be very good and yummy. But I ended up not selecting it because it was lower value compared to what I ended up selecting. So because of the lower value, plus I do have a lot of exfoliating type products, kind of like that in backstock, where they don't have as many of the item I did pick. The Pacifica Beauty Vegan Collagen Recovery Body Butter. I did consider this one as well, although Pacifica is, again, on the lower end of the price point. It's still a fairly expensive brand, and being up here in Canada, right, it's like 20, 25 bucks, somewhere in that range for their products. So definitely on the more expensive side of drugstore. But generally, I prefer my body moisturization products to come in like a squeezy tube compared to a tub. So the tub wasn't as appealing for me. Next up, we had the Wander Beauty, the Sweet Escape Eyeshadow Palette. I believe that is one that I received already from Boxycharm. So I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure I unboxed that on my channel a few months back. And finally, the Il Makiage Mascara. I have so many mascaras. I do not need mascaras at this point. So it's like, no. Definitely not picking that. So what I did end up picking, obviously, as you guys saw, was the Sonage. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I've never heard of this brand before. Skincare, their High Impact Vitamin C Serum. Because I do want to get more vitamin C into my routine. So this is it here. It is supposed to brighten and tone. And yeah, that should be good. So I'm kind of excited to play around with this guy. Because again, vitamin C is something I kind of want to get more of. Next set of choices. So for my second item, the first possibility was the Bobbi Brown Cosmetics Shadow Stick. When they just kind of teased this was a possibility, I was excited about it. But the color selection that they chose was nude, which could be good as like an eyeshadow primer, but I do have an eyeshadow, like a stick like this in a nude color that I haven't even used yet from Boxycharm from years ago. So because of the color choice that was given, I opted not to pick the Bobbi Brown. The Too Vegan, the toner, Red Remedy. I generally don't suffer from a lot of redness, so I passed over that one as well. Ciate London, the Smiley Lip Mask. Again, it is a potted lip product, and I'm not the biggest fan of potted lip products, so I moved on from that. Moving down to the Shades by Sean lipstick, the color Dubai just seemed a little bit light, plus I have so many lip products. And in terms of the Treloose Beauty, their Glow Highlighter Palette, I'm trying to move away from like highlighter palettes in general because I find that I only get like 1 or 2 shades that actually do work for me that I like on my skin tone. Obviously, even with like their ranges of, you know, fair, medium, deep skin tones, I don't want to reach for a whole big palette when I'm going to use one product from it. So that left me with the Fenty Skin. This is their pre-show glow. So we've got kind of a retexturizing product. So again, another reason not to choose the polish from the last choice. Very interesting. I have not used any Fenty Skin products before. So this is the one here. And it does also come with this little, very small cloth. That folded over, and it might be so small. Anyway, this is the applicator that comes with it that you're supposed to use. So yeah, that's going to be fun to play with. Again, eventually, when I can get to the exfoliating type products. So again, I'm curious about it, and that's why I ended up picking this guy. The next choice. So this was the last of like the core choices for us. And again, when we're looking at these products, first one up that you're going to see is the Hip Dot Sponge Set, which I did consider because, you know, sponges, they don't expire. You'll use them when you use them. The shapes were great. The colors, you know, they were fun. So I did consider it, and this would have been my second pick within the category. Cat Cosmetics, I do have an eyeshadow palette from them, but they're not a brand I am very interested in. This is also a pressed glow powder. So is that a highlighter? Is that just a? I wasn't really sure immediately how to use it. I assume with it being like this pinky kind of color, like that would be more of a highlighter, which I don't think I want. But again, because I'm not as interested in the brand, I wasn't going to look it up. When at least with those sponges, that was more appealing off the bat. Next up, we had an under eye corrector in the shade Rose. I tend to use more of like a peach under eye corrector, although I did consider this one very briefly, because I do use an under eye corrector basically every day. Just again, a brand I've never heard of before, and pink or rose compared to like a peachy color. Jumping down to the bottom row, we had again a lip stain, which again, I have so many lip products, so unless I'm really excited about that lip product, I'm probably not going to pick it. And the Basic Beauty translucent setting powder. I'm not a big fan of loose setting powders. I prefer pressed ones, and I already have the ones that I'm working on currently, and I have some in backstock, so it's like, no, I'm not going to pick that. Which left me with Mudmasky. This is a product I have actually used before. So, story time, because this was quite a while ago now. I believe this was in my base box of the July that the Anastasia Beverly Hills Takeover box was in premium. I had received this product in my box, and it actually came open, like it came to me in the box with a big splash mark across it. So I did have to contact Boxycharm customer service, and they were great. Like, I was able to get a full replacement item for this, basically not too much hassle or problem, where I submitted my shot, like the pictures I had taken. So I did use a fair amount of the product, especially the product that was lower down, that, you know, wasn't as bad. And then I had used up the full replacement item previously, and I did use those back to back. So in my mind, I might be conflating those time frames together. But now I have another one of these, and some people have really, really liked this and have noticed a difference based on their Boxycharm reviews. And I thought it was fine. Right? At least it does have a lot of good vitamins in there. So it's like A and K and C and a whole bunch of things. It's supposed to help reduce dark circles, which is my particular concern with my under eyes. So you know what? Although I did contemplate on the Hip Dot sponges, this had a higher price tag, and I do know that I like this product. And then that brought me to the Beauty Boost item. So I was very pleased to be able to see that I was able to pick my item, especially given, you know, what they originally had picked out for me. As you guys are being able to see now, so they originally picked out for me the JLo Beauty That Fresh Take Eye Cream. JLo Beauty, Not a brand I have a ton of interest in. And again, I've got so many eye products. And of course, I just picked out another one. So just, I'll pass on it. Gonna jump down to the Versio Skincare Daily Facial Cream. Again, it's probably a good product, just I have so many of them, and like, especially on a moisturizer, I'm more likely to choose that as part of my choice items because I'm excited about it. So I passed on this one. The Clarity RX, we had a red tea serum. It didn't really stand out to me. That's the only reason why. Ren Clean Skincare, the Evercalm Ultra Comforting Rescue Mask. You know, that might have been a good choice. However, I do have tons of masks I already need to be using. So I did pass on that, and I do believe the Evercalm line, I may be wrong about this, but I do think it's more, again, the calming of the skin, redness, irritation, things like that. Because I did get a redness serum from the Evercalm line from them previously. The last, oh my goodness, this last item. Oh, okay. It is a microneedle kit. First off, I've got thoughts, but first off, I have a phobia of needles, so there is no way I would be thinking that in my box. Second, microneedling is really not something that should be done at home. Obviously, if you do your research and all of that, you should be just fine to do it. But, like, you are literally poking holes into your skin, and if you're not taking care of it and you're not, you know, disinfecting those needles properly, you can do some really serious damage to your skin. So for that to be a choice, again, it makes sense within that premium realm category, but like, just, that kind of freaks me out a little bit. So, definitely not something I would pick for myself, and may potentially be opening up harm to other individuals. Again, if you have picked this item, if you use these kind of items, great. And I hope you've done all of your research to make sure you're doing it properly. And if you have and are, fantastic. I'm glad it works for you in your routine. But just that idea in general just freaks me right out. And especially because I have a needle phobia. So definitely hard pass on that. That would be like the least, like bottom of the absolute for like everything. So what I did pick was the Elemis. This is their Resurface and Refine Dynamic Resurfacing Kit. How many times can you say resurface in one thing? Now, one thing I will comment about this is that the Premium Beauty Boost was supposed to have a minimum value of $40, which is something that they had advertised. This kit comes in at $35. I did pick this item, even knowing it was lower than the promised $40 price point, because I still thought this was the one I get the most value of. Plus, you do get 3 items in here. But I did just want to make a quick comment on that for you guys as well. I've already kind of opened up the box. There's just like so much like wasted room in here. So again, packaging. 3 items that come in here though. You start off with the Elemis. This is their Dynamic Resurfacing Facial Wash. You've got 30 milliliters of product in here. Sorry, blinding you guys with all this stuff. You're then followed up with the Elemis. This is their Dynamic Resurfacing Facial Pads. Again, these are like pre-soaked pads, so they aren't my favorite. And I believe you only get 14? Yeah, so you only get 14 pads in here. So if you use them every day, which I don't know if you should be, does it tell us how often you're supposed to use these? Oh, wow, okay. They actually say morning and evening after cleansing. So you're supposed to use these twice a day. So you get 1 week's supply in here. I would probably be using these like once or twice a week personally, but that's just my thing. And then finally you have their Resurfacing Gel Mask. All of these are anti-aging. This one's got 15 milliliters of product in there. So I do like Elemis. I want to try more from Elemis. And again, I got 3 products in one. So even though that was only a value of $35, this was still the most valuable one for me. Now, all that being said, some of you might absolutely hate this box because literally all it is skincare. It is a skincare, 100% skincare box. which I did realize when I was going through and making my choices. But again, the makeup items really did not appeal to me. And so we're getting a higher value with the skincare. So let's just talk pricing very quickly. So for the Niacinamide moisturizer, that is coming in at a value of $45 USD. The mask from Dr. Brandt is coming in at a $44 USD value. The vitamin C serum is coming as our highest price point at $68 USD. The Fenty products, so again, you get the applicator plus the actual product for a value of $42 USD. Mudmasky is coming in at $52 USD. And finally, my premium boost item coming in at $35 USD. That brings the total value of the box to $286 USD, which again is wonderful value for what you're actually paying for, especially since you do get to pick all of the items yourself. So that means eventually I will get use out of everything. It's just going to take a little while to do so because I have so much skincare in backstock that I'm trying to work through. But once I had opened the box, there was something else that I realized that I do want to touch on before we kind of end this video. And that has to do with this selection of items right here. So again, quick recap. We have the mask, the vitamin C serum, what is this? The instant retexturizing treatment, the eye serum type product, and the sample face wash that came in this trio set. What all of these items have in common is that they are all 30 milliliters. Every single one. Now, again, for some of these products, that makes sense, right? This is technically a sample. It's a large sample. It's apparently one you could buy because there's a barcode on it. But, good sample. An eye product, right? That makes sense. A treatment, a vitamin C serum, that I'm fine with. But this mask, which tells me it has a value of $44, has the same amount of product as a sample cleanser, as an eye serum, as like a whole bunch of other items. And I've gotten other cleansers, like for example, from the Sephora Favorites kits. One of these kits came with a 30 milliliter sample of the Youth to the People cleanser. Again, a very generous sample size. That's amazing. But for a full-size mask worth $44 US? So, hopefully this mask is one, amazing, and two, a little bit goes a very long way. Kind of an interesting observation there, and definitely does raise a couple of questions for me, particularly regarding that mask. And I know Dr. Brandt is a very expensive brand, but still, right? Expensive needs to equal quality. So this is 30 grams. If you have caught my Skin is In Project Pan, you guys will know I'm panning 2 Mary Kay masks in that project. One's a clay mask, one is a gel cleansing mask. Or gel renewal type mask, I should say. Both of those come with 85 grams of product, and I don't remember the exact price point off the top of my head, but definitely no more than $30 for each of those, I would say, just off the top of, and that's Canadian dollars, I do want to specify. I have been working on other masks. So I have a Glam Glow mask that has 50 grams of product in there. So again, smaller, but still bigger than this guy. And I've just started playing with a mask that came with 100 grams of product in that. And that one came with a retail value of $63. Now again, different brands, different purposes with their masks, different ingredients, different formulations, all of that stuff. I know not all masks are going to be the same. But when we are looking at price points, because as someone who, grew up understanding the value of money, and I'm a little, based on the size of this, just again, hopefully it's wonderful, and I'll let you know when I eventually do end up using it or trying it out. But it better be amazing, and it better go a little bit, going a very long way. But that is going to finally wrap up this video. So again, another long video for you guys. Apologies for that. But we did have a lot to discuss in terms of the overall transition in my experience from the Boxycharm to the Boxycharm by Ipsy plus Beauty Boost. So that whole experience, talking through how I made my selections and my overall impressions and the value of this particular box. Again, I am very excited to see what next month brings. Again, it's the first month, and you know, if that glow recipe product is coming, like, oh, that's definitely something I want. It looks like that Natasha Denona palette's going to be hopefully coming around again, which would be exciting. So although I try not to pick eyeshadow palettes, I would definitely pick that because it's Natasha Denona, and I do love those products. But we will see what happens next month. So of course, I will be making all of my choices for May on the 2nd. And again, whenever I get my box shipped out from me, you bet I will be prioritizing to get that filmed and up for you guys right away. So let me know down in the comments below about your experiences with this new box, this new rebranding, for lack of better terminology here. Let me know what you got. Let me know what you think of my particular variation, the choices that I made. If you would have picked something differently, let me know. And thank you for listening to all of my rants, because apparently I was in a ranty mood today. So I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe so you can see the next unboxing. Or if you enjoy Project Pan content, make sure you subscribe for all that, because I do a ton of that on my channel, as well as a whole bunch of empties videos every month. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Have a wonderful day.